Okay, so we are now live. As usual, a few buttons that we have to press. I thought I'd come out with me Suicide Squad t-shirt today. So I thought I'd put a bit of colour into the scene, why not? So hope everyone's having a great day. Here we are again with another great episode going out live on YouTube and on Facebook and hopefully on the other channels, but we don't know because it comes up with something like a key code and it changes all the time, and sometimes you don't know if you put the right one in. So we will just literally go with the flow. So hi guys, and welcome to Aligned Within. We will be taking all things wellness, or talking about all things wellness. How are you today, Tracy? Feeling well?
Yeah, good. All
Excellent.
good.
Okay. So today our topics follow on from last week. So we're focusing on when should we get into a relationship. Okay, I'm sure there's loads of people who've got their answers to that. So we're going to look into that. And when and how do we know we are ready? Okay, so continuing on, there's a common concept that you need to be 100% ready before starting up in a relationship. So
Yeah.
the truth is, no one has ever fully finished and polished to go into a relationship. No one ever is really. Oh God, frog. So we all come with our habits, insecurities. We have our hopes, and growth still yet to be needed. So readiness is less about perfection or perfect timing, and more about honesty.
Yeah. So, what does readiness actually look like? Well, it actually has quite a few signs. Um, you know what you want, but more importantly, what you don't want. You can take responsibility for your emotions yourself. You don't expect anybody else to complete you, and you have a desire for connection with somebody, but not the need for anybody to validate you. Um, there's the willingness to communicate and compromise, like the real like need to be seen and the readiness to be seen and for them to see you as well.
Yeah.
You know. Um, And finally, a relationship is not just about a person that fits your life, like a missing puzzle piece. It's about being authentic, and being yourself around that person. Um, so you don't need to put on any acts or anything. You just feel completely at ease. Just yourself, really.
Okay. So, what is growing together? What do you think that is? Isn't that part of love too? I mean, in a healthy relationship, growth is shared, and you don't have to arrive at the same emotional destination before meeting your person. In fact, many of the strongest relationships are built on something that neither one could have built themselves alone. The key is that both people are willing to grow and not be already fully grown. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, like as coaches,
So
like the song
I
can
get
be
when you say that being said, in order to have growth, that both people have to take responsibility for their own growth. Yeah, would you agree with that?
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, just
Okay.
um,
So if one person expects the other to fix them or carry their loneliness or define them in any way, then the relationship will quickly feel heavy. Yeah.
yeah. Um, so a few helpful questions to ask is Can I be on my own without fear or panic or anxiety? Do I know how to handle and resolve conflicts without disappearing, exploding, or shutting down or blaming the partner? Am I interested uh, in like the partnership or just not wanting to be left behind with social norms? Can I let somebody be close to me without losing myself? Um, am I choosing a relationship or just a desire out of pressure from other people?
Yeah. Okay. So a few helpful questions that you can ask yourself, I guess, will be: can I be on my own without fear, panic, or anxiety? Uh,
Yeah,
so, do I know how to handle and resolve conflicts without disappearing, exploding, shutting down, or blaming the partner? Like you say, um, am I interested in partnership or just wanting to be left behind in social norms? That's what you were saying there. Now,
yeah,
um, yeah, so that's quite a lot of sort of material to work with. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure where I would be with that. To be honest, it's quite a lot to take in. But I guess, I mean, me personally, I kind of feel, being alone, suits me. I'm not looking to fill any sort of void. Um,
no.
Many people that
I
can't
think
feel that because as humans we are kind of meant to be with somebody, or not necessarily even in a relationship, but we do need to be around humans and human interaction. Otherwise, we go a little bit mad. Yeah.
yeah. I think that's it. But you have to distinguish whether you are there's a need there for somebody else or whether it is a desire. That whether you're wanting them to support you and hold you up and you need them there, or whether it is just actually I like your company and
Yeah.
I want you to be there.
Okay. Do you think that there's anything important for being ready? That's
Yeah,
there. Like,
yeah, I think
um, there's something important being ready. Doesn't have to be, and isn't always that dramatic, as in a ha moment. So some
yeah.
it's simply calm and happy.
Yeah,
Uh,
calm and happy, and you're not chasing, yeah, that person as a rescue party. You know, um, there's nothing to prove. It's completely grounded, and you're feeling open to letting somebody else into your world, basically.
oh right, okay, it's interesting. So, do we have to be aligned with ourselves to love someone? How's that for a question?
I think so. I think you have to know yourself well, um, and be ready to let somebody into your world. So it's like a bonus rather than asking them to sort of fill in the voids that are there.
Yeah.
You've got to have done a little bit of work on yourself, or at least know where the gaps. You're not, like you say at the beginning. You're not going to come all polished and ready,
Yeah.
um, but you are going to be at a stage where you feel that if somebody came into your life, you've got room for them. You know, and you're still going to be working on those areas of your life, but you feel like you can grow with them. They're they're
Yeah.
there.
So, see, a lot of people would have a slightly different um, sort of perception on that. So, some people like to say, well, you don't have to be fully aligned, though we have to be steady enough to enter into relationship without making the other person responsible for our healing. Mm.
Yeah, no, that's precisely the point. It's that you don't make that other person responsible for your healing. You are always responsible for your own healing, but you are aligned enough with their values and everything else that you feel that you can grow with them. You can see growth. You've both got future vision, of that align, and you work together. You become that team, that solid team.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I do kind of I kind of get that, and I think without that, I think the relationship could probably fail, and probably fail dramatically and quickly. Um, but at the same time, I do think it's okay explaining something like that. But everyone's individual, and there's people with they say we've got a relationship. It's an open relationship, and some people say, well, they'll never go into an open relationship, and how would that affect those values?
Mm.
And I would imagine that the majority of us would say, well, you've just smashed them values out the window because, the values are, the love and respect is between two people, not 10, and
But
involving.
then some people out there don't believe that. I think it very much depends on the identity of the person and the belief systems, because, there is such thing as polygamy and everything. There's different people, different values. And I think it's more about the people involved and what they believe and how they want their lives to go forward. And as long as they are in alignment and that they're not in conflict and that they're not the person themselves are not in conflict with, themselves even, coming back to that parts integration, like, oh, I want to do what that other person wants me to do, but, I don't, that doesn't feel authentic for me. As long as that's not in conflict, then everything, you'd still be ready.
Yeah. So maybe readiness is less of a finish line and more like a posture, knowing your position. Yeah.
Yeah.
So being self-aware enough to know your patterns, mature enough to know your own mistakes, and open enough to build something new and real.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So, what do you think about people being out there?
Being out there.
Yeah. So, if you're out there listening and wondering, just look at it like this. You're probably ready when it feels that you are adding to your life and not having to replace or have a replacement for the relationship with yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
So, yeah. And I guess the best relationships don't demand perfect, or perfection. They are asked for
No.
presence.
Yeah, it's all work in progress all the time. I mean, throughout life, it's going to be a work in progress, but it's if you feel that you can start off at a starting point together and work forward, and that at that point you are aligned and that your visions are all the same, then the likelihood is that you're ready and you're settled in yourself to go forward.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Right, so we're going to have a quick interlude, right? And then we're going to jump on to our guest slot. Okay, we've got a great Danni Smith coming back to see us again and fill us with her woes and oh my God, her experiences, and what a great guest to have on. So back in a sec. We're back again. So the next part of the show is we're going to bring on our very, very, very special guest, Danni Smith. And, you know, our insights are insightful. There's no other word for it. We had a great interview. There's a lot to talk about. Some of the things that we probably didn't need to talk about, we still spoke about anyway. So there's no polishness on our interviews. You see what happens. There's no edits. So be ready for this. Welcome on, Danni Smith. I've got Danni again. Right, we couldn't resist getting Danni Smith back again because she was so great last time that we brought her in again. A slightly different topic. But basically around the same thing. We're always going on about relationships for this season anyway. So before we start our questions, Danni, how's it been going?
Yeah, not too bad. I think I'm definitely feeling this Mercury retrograde that has just come in. Definitely been messing with everyone about a little bit.
Meaning?
It's like everything isn't going as smoothly, or things are a little bit more intense. You feel a lot more run down.
Oh, right. I just thought
That's really interesting, actually.
yeah.
Does it resonate?
It does, yeah.
Yeah. Get rid of that Mercury.
I think it's here for a while.
That's just typical, isn't it?
Do you know when it's due to finish?
No. I will have to look that up and let you know, though.
Yeah, that would be brilliant.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to blame the planets, yeah? When we mess up, you drop a cup, kick the cat. It was Mercury, nothing to do with me.
You got to say that it's Mercury retrograde, though. It's the retrograde that does it.
Okay, so I will write that down because there's no way I'm going to remember that word. Let alone right, retrograde. Okay, so I'll have to analyze that word, retrograde. So grade could be up or down. Retro is just retro. So anyway, Mercury, nice guy. Know him well. So what else has been going on? How's the course going?
Good. I'm quite sad that it's ending soon and that we're nearly done.
Okay, well, here's the good news. Because Tracy and I have been chatting and we will be at some point creating courses.
Ooh, exciting.
Just. So at what point we may be tapping a few brains and maybe getting some people in to take over some of the lessons and sessions, or halfway through we're discussing something and say, hey, what's your view on this? And then while you're explaining it, we'll just leave you. Leave you. And not come.
That sounds great.
So that is in the pipeline in the very near future. We're just discussing the topics on it, and yeah, we'll have them created.
I love that.
Superb, isn't it?
All exciting times ahead.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
Absolutely. And it's not much dissimilar to what we're doing now, except it's a different type of excitement. Because obviously people need to get involved, and then they decide to subscribe to a course. We will be developing micro courses, so they're like smaller courses, which will be free. Some people call them tasters.
Yeah.
Micro courses sounds better. And it's to give people the insight of, this is what's available, are you interested? So it's similar to the courses that we've all been on, which are a little bit longer, 4-week courses. They are basically tasters. This is what we do. If you like it, get your hand in your pocket and pay for the full hit. And we go, yeah, okay, I like the idea, I'll do that. So yeah, that's what we're going to be creating. Again, the topic is a bit at the moment. But I can imagine at some point the 3-letter words but they're not actually three-letter. Oh, they are three-letter starter words of the NLP will be entering into it. NLP.
Yeah,
You can't
yeah.
speak French. Yeah, it's NLP. I'd like to say in French it's NLP. So we'll be bringing that on board into it and just dropping it in. So we're not going to design the courses specifically around NLP. Come in.
What was that?
Whose house was that?
It was
That's
not
mine. That's mine.
Oh, right, okay.
I,
Space, we can fit 10 people on here if you need to fit someone else on. You want to be interviewed. Like, what's the normal time your child goes to bed? How many times a night does he normally get up and disturb you? So just remember this is being recorded and it can be used in evidence against you should you end up following your child. So yeah, be wary of that.
luckily, he's not here at the moment.
Well, I think his essence or ghost has been left behind then because somebody knocked. Open the door and ghost of child is there.
Oh God!
Got my back to school next week. Who's looking forward to the kids being off? Thank God, it's just a billion mums going, no.
I would say most definitely going to be an interesting time.
Yeah. I mean, I do feel sorry for. I'd say more so the mums because they're the ones that get landed with it, right? The dads go, "Oh, I'm working. No one can do what I do," and the mums are going, "Yeah, but I work. Yeah, but you look better in the kitchen than I do." That's not from me. That's just some people's opinions. Terrible. Right, quick. Stop digging. Okay. So
Run away, spade. Andy's ladder.
If they dig anymore, I'm gonna have a swimming pool. Right. So so I do feel sorry for all parents, to be honest, when the kids are off because you just gotta try to find so many things for them to do, and you just run out of ideas.
Yeah.
So by the end of the week, you just like repeat what you did at the start of the week, and they just do it all again, and hopefully they forgot, because there's not enough places to go to. I would assume.
And it's finding the money as well to sort of finance all of it because they want to go here, there, and everywhere, and it's like,
absolutely. I mean,
where do you get it from?
Parents should do what I do. I taught my lads how to lay bricks, and we built. It's great. Yeah. It was shit but it was building, you know what I mean? He knows what a trowel is, he knows how to make sand and cement. He just doesn't know where the bubble is in a spirit level, Like, it keeps moving up and then down again. How do you get this to go straight? Don't worry about it. It's fine. Fine, son. It's cool.
You've got a wall somewhere going sloping down.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. You want to make an air raid shelter and it goes down into the ground, but yeah, it's all cool. So let's crack on. Tracy, would you like to entertain into the question list? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how would I identify my core values and whether I'm truly ready to enter into a relationship?
Well, this is actually quite the good segue into NLP, which is what we've just learned with values elicitation.
I know.
So obviously, without going to a coach and deciding what your values are and identifying those, a good way of looking at it is how have I been living my life in the past 90 days to 6 months? And it's what are you prioritizing in those last few months? So for example, if you are constantly trying to find security in your life, it's very likely that a value of yours is security. It can be whatever you are constantly striving for or living by in your life will determine what at least current values are, because there's a difference between idealistic values and then your real values. because
Yes.
you have the values that you strive for, that in a perfect world these would be your values, but in order to find your actual realistic values, it is how are you living your life in the past 90 days to 6 months.
Mm.
What are you
So
prioritizing?
how would you sort of recognize out of those values which one means that you are completely ready to bring somebody else onto the scene?
Oh, good question. I think a value that I would say that would, I guess, strongly identify that you are able to bring someone along is maybe patience is probably a good value to have for
Mm.
that,
Hmm.
but also openness, like open-mindedness.
Hmm.
You don't want to bring someone into your life for the sake of bringing someone into your life. It's got to be from a place of sincerity
Yeah.
and being genuine, and that you actually feel ready for it. It's not to fill a hole.
Yeah.
It's the whole like, I don't need you, I want you thing.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, I would say the values that you should at least identify that should show you whether you're ready for a partner is ultimately open-mindedness and probably self-love as well.
Yeah.
You've got to be kind to yourself in order to be kind to others.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. So, again, we're going to treat you as the coach. So, to me, what patterns from my past relationships am I still carrying?
I would say look at the recurring themes, look at patterns. When you look back at all of your past relationships, what is always coming up for you? That will show you what is still there. For my personal experience, I have a lot of self worth issues which come out in insecurity. And when I look back at all my past relationships, my insecurity, which is obviously the core value, the core root being the self worth thing,
Yeah.
has always manifested in some way in all of my relationships.
Yeah.
So it's asking yourself, what is it that's constantly been coming up in my relationships? And that will tell you what it is that is, you're either burying or you're processing, whichever one it may be. It's those patterns. What is constantly coming up? You've just got to ask yourself and find the pattern.
Mm. So, with me, it'll be women.
I think it goes a little bit deeper than that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure it is. Uh,
So
would you like to interject?
I just wondered, like on the end of that question, not from my
Mhm.
question, but the end of that question, how do you know that you've fully processed those, you know, those feelings or emotions that, or the patterns or whatever it is that you need to be rid of before you go into a relationship? How do you know
To
that
know
you've
that you'll fully process them is to recognize that it's not a big problem for you anymore, because it's not going to be just a problem for you, it is also going to be a problem for your partner, because we subconsciously torture our partners and blame them for what everyone else in the past has done.
yes,
And unless you're single, then it may be that you're punishing yourself. um, but it's noticing, is this problem that I have noticed from my past relationships, is it still affecting me now? If it is, chances are you haven't fully processed it. You might have processed it a bit depending on how much of a grip it holds on you,
mm,
but that's the best way of indicating whether, or at least how much you've been processing it. If it's a case of being buried in it, that is, you are in complete denial.
yeah,
You are like, nope, I refuse to acknowledge this. I refuse that this is a thing. This is not happening. you're completely closed off to the idea, that
In
is
which
burying
case
it.
you're really not ready to
Yeah.
Yeah.
go along the way of a relationship.
Yeah, 100%. If you do not have an open mind and you're in complete denial, you shouldn't be entering into a relationship.
So
Yeah.
how do you distinguish whether you're ready and that it's not just loneliness that's driving you to
I think
go into one?
I think it goes back to what I said in the beginning, which is it's not an I need you, it's an I want you. Because you need to be in a position in order to feel ready, is that you have a good relationship with yourself, but you're also okay with being alone and you find at least a certain level of peace in it. You have to be okay with being on your own. And if you're
Yeah.
not okay with being on your own, you will find people to fill that space.
Mm.
And that's coming from a need instead of a want.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't need someone. It's like, I don't need you, but I want you because I enjoy your company. I enjoy how you make me feel. It has to come from a very genuine place where attachment isn't so tight.
Mm.
Obviously, in partnerships, there will be a level of attachment, but there's toxic attachment and then there's healthy attachment. And you have to have that good relationship with yourself as a starting point to know that when you are ready
Securing
for,
yourself
yeah,
before. Yeah.
yeah. So then when you are feeling like you're ready for a relationship, you know that it's coming from a sincere place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carl?
So there's a couple of parts to this question. So, what does emotional independence look like in practice?
I would say it's a lot of self-love. I would say it's patience, not being so quick to judge yourself or others, because when we are judging other people, we are judging ourselves. Everyone is a reflection of who you are. And if you are, whether you're saying it directly to that person or out loud, the way that you are viewing other people is a reflection of yourself. So to have that emotional maturity to be at a point where you can at least be neutral or positive is a really good way of indicating that emotional like openness and that emotional
Yeah.
maturity. Is how you treat others is how you treat yourself.
Okay. So, how do I build a full, meaningful life as a single person?
I would say it's having a good community around you, whether that is family, friends, maybe you've got hobbies, you go to classes like we talked about last time,
Yeah.
and having that kind of community around you. It could also be that you've got work colleagues that you get along really, really well with, but it's creating a full life for yourself. Whether that includes, that's your social life, that's going to work, that's, your passions, your hobbies, things that you genuinely enjoy. Fill your life with things that obviously you need to survive, but also things that make you happy, that make you feel connected, that make you who you are. Because again, you don't want to find someone just to fill a space. You ideally want your life to already be pretty good, and then you've just got a bonus, which
Yeah.
is that partner.
Yeah. Totally agree. Um, so how would I identify my own attachment style?
Look at your previous partners. How are they, what are they like as people, and how are they dealing with conflict? How are they dealing with commitment, and how are they dealing with
Mm.
relationships? Because and then it's also, how are they dealing with it and how are you reacting to it? Because I've noticed from at least my past, I've been attracted to the more avoidant type, which
Yeah.
is the like non-committing, quite like nonchalant, fairly emotionless kind of deal.
And
And
did
then
that
I,
did that
Mhm.
make you feel worried and everything, anxious?
Oh my God, I was anxious all the time. And that showed me that my attachment style was an anxious
Yeah.
attachment style,
Yeah.
because of how they were and how I was reacting to it showed me what I was like, and also what wasn't being met
Yes.
and what I really needed to be met in order to feel secure. There's also the aspect of the type of attachment you have with your previous partners. Is it one where you are basically codependent, or are
Mm.
you quite dependent? Because if you look at your relationships, like your past ones, and you found that you were quite dependent or quite codependent on your partner,
Yeah.
chances are you've got an anxious attachment.
Anxious. Yeah.
If you are the
But I
kind of
would.
person where you tend to very like push them away when things got big and things got emotional, or you were just a very independent person, but like the overly independent person, then chances are
Avoidant.
you are an avoidant.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about reflection and how the people you are choosing and how you react to them.
Yeah. And to get through that yourself, how would you approach that? I mean, I was
It's
thinking more of like sitting through it, if you're in an anxious attachment style,
yeah.
to learn to sit through it. What's your thoughts?
There is a level of sitting through it, yes, but I think it's also dealing with the problem, because it's there for a reason, and it's very likely coming from a place that happened when you were a child or growing up. A need
Mhm.
wasn't met, and you tend to create that pattern of finding it in other people.
Yeah.
So, as a coach, I would say the best thing you can do is find the core of that issue, address it, and heal it. There's obviously, the quick fixes, which is talking yourself through it, being realistic, writing it down, doing a little bit of journaling, because how it is in your head compared to when you put it out on paper is so different. And when you can jump into that observer point of view instead of
Mm.
being so directly in it, really does help kind of take the edge off. But
Yeah.
if you want that real lasting change, you've got to address where it's coming from and address the issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So would you use your NLP skills to help someone with this, or would you use
Um,
toolbox?
I would say it depends on what it is. I do love NLP, and I have my own kind of version of NLP that I do like to use, and that I find is incredibly effective. Um, but it depends on the person as well. You can very much get to that core issue through just like normal coaching and helping the client find the answers themselves and giving them the space and the right power questions to do that. Um, but then obviously NLP is a very effective and a much quicker way of doing that, and that's my preferred method. But for
There
others,
is other toolboxes as well to be used, like
yeah,
EMDR and things like that you can
exactly.
use. Um,
Exactly. I mean, there's hypnotherapy, there's all sorts of stuff. I mean, I know people that have had
breath
Reiki,
work.
and then yeah, like Reiki breath work, and that makes you feel so safe that it releases something in you didn't realize what it was. So there's so many tools that you can use and utilize to do that. It just depends on if you've got a coach, what they specialize in, and then who you are as a person and what you feel is the best and safest process for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what unmet needs did I bring into my last relationship, expecting a partner to fill, kind of thing? And how do I meet those needs myself?
Um, the best thing is communication, because you have to communicate your, like, especially if it's a recurring theme as well. If you've got a lot of unmet needs from past relationships and you want to make sure that those aren't continuing to be unmet, or you've got certain expectations of how you expect this relationship to go, you're already going to be doomed if you don't communicate it. It's also whichever new partner you enter a relationship with, it's not their fault that your needs haven't been met, because they don't know them. They don't know that part of you yet, and it's your responsibility to communicate that. You can't have any expectations, and you can't do anything about it until you've spoken about it, because people aren't mind readers. They're not going to know right off the bat what it is that you need until you say it. And it sometimes in relationships, it takes your first argument to go, I just needed you to do this and you didn't do it. And then you talk about it and then they know, and then it changes. Don't let it get to that point when you're having to have your first argument. Just talk about it, because your unmet needs are your boundaries. You have to be assertive about that, because they are your boundaries. And the best thing you can do is assert them so early on in the relationship, because you need to know that whoever you're choosing to be your partner is able to respect those.
Yeah.
If they're not going to respect them, the relationship is not going to work.
Okay, I've just got one last question before I pass it over to Tracy, which is, have you ever tried NLP on your dog?
No, I don't think he'd be interested. He's too whizzy.
Yeah, he's obviously trying to get your attention, right? Maybe you should have a table with some treats so you can just flick them off over into the corner. And he'll disappear and have a chomp.
Well, I mean, he's a German Shepherd, so he's a bit of a guard dog. He's got to come up and check every now and then, got to make sure I'm okay.
Yeah. Would you like to take a second and say, I'm okay?
Oh, he's left now.
Oh, right. Okay, that was a quick check, wasn't it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not usually very long. It's, oh, okay, you're good. Cool. Bye.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine and done. Tracy, have you got anything you'd like to add?
Yeah. What does a healthy relationship look like? And how do I know that I'm getting like my needs met, like what I want to thrive?
Again, communication. It's all about communication. If you're not communicating, or you're not communicating well, your relationship is not going to work. And the most healthiest relationships come from communication. But I would also say that it's also about compromise, because you're not the same people. You're not always going to agree on the same things, and you're not always going to do what the other person wants, whether that's through your own kind of views or your own past. There has to be a level of compromise and understanding, and just that communication. Communication is the most important thing, and then compromise when it's necessary, but don't compromise yourself in the process. Let it be from a place where it means that both of you are happy with the result. It might not be that you're 100% happy, but at least you're in a place where your most fundamental, like foundational needs are met. Like, you need to, when it comes to needs, you can make a list. What are your non-negotiables? What are the needs that you have that you absolutely must have met? Otherwise, you will not feel fulfilled and truly loved in this relationship. And you make sure that you communicate those so clearly so that they have to be met. And you have to expect that your partner to do the same thing, because this isn't just, you entering this relationship and needing your needs met. It's also the other person, and you have to have that awareness. And then you can also create that other list of, what other needs do I have that I would be okay to have compromising, like to be compromised if they needed to be compromised. Because that way you've got your non-negotiables and your negotiables, and it's communicating all of that throughout. And then again, having the awareness that you've got to be able to do
Trusting your own. What about trusting your own judgment if you've missed red flags out, like in the past? How would you learn to trust yourself again?
I would say small steps. And this doesn't necessarily have to be like relationship related, but it's just making those really small decisions every day. And it could literally be, what you're going to have for dinner today. but it could be that you're actually going to make sure that you have a nourishing dinner, because your body needs to learn to trust itself again, and the best thing that you can do that is through consistency. So for example, if you want to make sure that you are giving yourself a second to just be with yourself and be present in your body, make it a point that you will sit down at this specific chair at this specific time every day for 5 minutes. And you just sit with yourself, you meditate, you read, you do something, but you do it every day.
Yeah.
That will show your body that you are capable of being trusted again. Because it's not necessarily going to be your mind. I mean, obviously there is a level of your mind, but it's your body. It's your body that sends those signals to your brain, and vice versa. But
Yeah.
in order to trust yourself up here, you need to trust yourself down here. And the
Okay.
best thing that you can do with that is through consistency and showing up for yourself. You have to show up for yourself, and you have to make decisions that feel good for you. So it could be, if you want to, eat better, make those decisions every day. Be consistent that you're going to eat well. If you want to exercise, you make that plan and you actually follow it. Obviously, there is a level of understanding that life does happen and you're allowed to have a cheat day every now and then, but it's the consistency. So it can at least be that you slip up, every now and then, like that's fine, but don't make it a regular thing.
Yeah.
Consistency is key.
So, Carl, have you got out to ask?
No, I'm still processing that. A bit like, your body's got to trust you. And I'm saying to myself, all of your body, or are they independent to each other? So like your leg might say, "Oh, I'm all in," and your hand says, "Not having it. He's tried this before, and he didn't follow through." Right?
Well,
It's that cake.
I would say, don't trust your downstairs area as much as your brain,
Me feet.
because that's got a different brain, that's got different priorities, especially as a woman when you're ovulating.
Yeah.
Like,
Ovulators, and I have no plans on doing so.
you can't anyway. So it's just like, yeah, so you're fine.
You're not in that club. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a different ballgame when you're ovulating. Okay, just stick to your head in your heart, like probably your heart more than your head. That's probably the best one. Obviously, you can use that when you need your logic, but make sure you're in a good state for that. But listen to your heart. That's the best place you can listen to. Don't be listening down there, because it only wants one thing, and it's just...
So 2 heads are not better than 1.
No. No. That's the one that gets you in trouble. You don't need that one all the time.
Yeah. I will definitely believe you on that one.
I mean, unless your heart's saying yes, then go for it. But if your heart's saying no and you're down there is saying yes, don't do it.
Don't get that's a get out of jail free card. That, well, heart, you know what I mean? If you just ignore him, just get on with it, and you got the other side going, don't listen to him. Shut up, it's all right. Little head, what, big head? Shut up. Okay.
Honestly though, it's so obvious when your heart's not in it. It's so obvious. So just make sure you're listening to your heart.
I totally relate to that. Yeah, I do. So I'll just how do you spell head? I was gonna write it down. It's important to write this down, Should have come up. I can relate to it. So now YouTube's banned us, we'll have to pick another subject for next time. But besides that, is there anything else you would like to add, Danni?
Um,
Keep it clean.
I guess just the same thing as last time. If you like what you're hearing and you want to hear more from me, hit me up.
Absolutely, 100%. And we definitely will.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Absolute star. And we totally enjoy you coming on to our little show. You bring sunshine to our otherwisely not so sunny times, and it's an absolute privilege.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely fine. Anytime, anywhere, ne le point. Speak to you next time. Bye, Dan.
See you later. Bye. Bye.
I'll just press my button and we're away to go. Danni Smith, what a amazing. She's such a privilege to have her on and interview her. And even though she is serious in work, you can see she's really bubbly. But before we go any further, the news today is Danni Smith is looking for a new owner for the dog. And Tracy's looking for some paranormal experienced people to check out her house.
It's funny you should say that because I just had another knock.
You know what? I heard it, and I thought I don't remember that being on the interview. Where did that one come from? Maybe it's that goes from last night, and it's coming back to complain that no one really interfered or asked it questions or anything, just completely ignored it. Maybe it's having a second go.
That's it.
So, Tracy, what's going on?
So now we're going to look at a song called "Come What May," which is by a singer called Vicky Leandros. She's a Greek singer, and it was a song sung in about the early 70s, was it? Something like that. Yeah. So do you want to talk about?
Is that Vicky with an I by any chance?
It is, yes, it is.
Spell it wrong. You know what it's like. You know, you need to check things out like that. But anyway, here we go. There were times in the days gone by when I thought I was living, having fun with all the friends I knew. Now it seems oh so long ago, for my life changed completely from the moment I met you. Come on. To you. Come on. Now I'm so lost in you. You told me what to do. Never ask what the past was like. I will live for tomorrow. Yesterday is very far away. Now you're here. Everything is new. You are all that I long for, and I long for you to stay.
So,
wow. Okay, I think next time we need some visuals.
yeah,
Yeah, I was running out of dance moves then because it's quite a
that's it.
slow one.
It is a slow one. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So this is the star bit of the show. So if we look through a psychological lens, the title indicates meaning and making. So making people, yeah, often people cope with certainly seeing relationships as destined rather than a random event. I'm sure we all do. So this psychologically can help us reduce anxiety, have hope, and make the bond between the partners secure and seem more significant. It also reflects attachment needs, where the person experiences connections as evidence to them that life is together and emotionally safe. So I guess the music is also important, bringing a fate type meaning, which supports the individual to having optimism, increased self esteem, and that sense of moving forward.
Yeah. So to talk about what the song is actually about initially, it's really a sweeping ballad, and the narrator describes a life that felt aimless before they met their transformative partner. And it's that pledging of unending and undying devotion and love. So the music's very melodic and holds a lot of clarity in its strong declarative like delivery. So looking at it more in depth from a psychological perspective, there's like the attachment being secure, and there's identity reorganization, which the lines, now I know I was lost till I met you, and when I met you, love told me what to do. It refers to a secure attachment being formed. The partner becomes that safe base for the narrator, reducing their anxiety and allowing them to reorganize themselves. There's also a sense of self-expansion there. The shift, when it says, I thought I was living, having fun, like in the past tense, but then it's saying that they will now live for tomorrow. The model is about finding new resources, viewpoints, and purpose through that close bond. There is like the cognitive reframing that of the past. So never ask what the past was like. I will live for tomorrow. It's an intentionally recognizing the past, but there's no longer any emphasis on it. There's no need for it because they'll be now focusing on going forward together. It might also look at commitment as an identity. So forever my heart belongs to you, signifying that the relationship is and has become central to that person's identity and goals. And there's also the title itself is like a mantra for that even in uncertain times, that love's going to be there. It's which links with research about commitment and persistence in relationships.
Mm.
So, what would you say from a sociological angle?
Well, I'd say as coaches, the song can be useful to reflect on readiness, agency, and values. So it reveals needs, patterns, boundaries, and timing. So the phrase, we were always meant to meet, can help the individual reframe the encounter with the other person as significant in their own personal development and life journey. As coaches, we would invite them to explore. So things like, what did the encounter teach you about? Did it make you want to change anything? What did it make you notice about yourself and relationships?
Yeah, I mean, I'd also say that it mirrors values, boundaries, and agency, so that it look into the clarity of the values, so the loyalty, the consistency, the long-term orientation, that resilient stance, come what may, a reminder to stay committed and engaged in the relationship, despite there being uncertainty in life. And that's massive when it's paired with like future plans, like real future plans and visions, and communication. And then there's that relational pivot that happens. It's a purposeful reframe. So it be what have they made room for? Whether is it the routines, the friends, the goals? Where have the changes been made, and are they congruent to the client? And it is it authentic with themselves? So yeah, we'd probably also, as coaches, explore agency versus fusion and healthy independence, and future focusing without the erasure of the past.
Okay, it's brilliant. So that's all we got time for today, anyway. We had a really interestingly long interview with Danni that took us a little bit longer than normal, but it was that interesting. We didn't want to finish chatting to her. And yeah, it was great. And you had some great questions lined up for it, Tracy. It was brilliant. And next week, we're going to have another incredible session. We have with us Ruth Breyer. So that's going to be really interesting. Looking forward to that interview and posting it out to everyone. And it's going to be a great week. So without any more information, I'm going to say goodbye and see you next week.
See you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.